The Infinity 500 series is part of Darkglass's combo line featuring the analog microtubes and digital Infinity models. In this video, I'll show you why the Infinity 500 is perfectly named because there's almost no limit to how you can use them. I'll show you all the controls and features on the Infinity 500 combos and then demonstrate how easy it is to create and save your own presets. Let's start by looking at the top panel and back panel layouts. Starting from the leftmost side of the top panel, you have the headphone output and instrument input jack. When you plug headphones into any Darkglass combo amp, the speakers are automatically muted, although you can change that in the Darkglass Suite if you want the speakers to keep playing while you have the headphones plugged in. When you're using headphones, you can use the included cab IRs to dramatically enhance your bass tone. Next is the Preset Select button that you can use to either select one of 5 customizable presets or even bypass them altogether. If you want to save a sound that you've created, simply press and hold this button and it'll be saved in the preset slot you have currently selected. The input knob controls the gain level of the instrument going into the combo. By looking at the 7 LEDs located below the graphic EQ, you can see the level of the bass signal coming into the amp and adjust the input knob to either increase or decrease the gain. Pushing on the knob turns the FX loop on and off. When the LED with the FX symbol is lit, the FX loop is active. The compression knob adjusts the amount of dynamic compression applied to the preset you are using, and the makeup gain is automatically adjusted, which makes it an easy compressor to use. Pushing on the knob moves the compressor to either before or after the drive, or even turns the compressor off. When you see the first LED lit up, the compressor is before the drive block. When you see the last LED lit up, the compressor is after the drive block. And when neither LED is lit up, the compressor is off. The drive control is one of my favorite features of the Infinity combo amp. Turning the knob clockwise increases the amount of gain for the drive you have selected. Pushing on the drive knob will select the drive you want to use or turns off the drive block completely. The LED will change colors to tell you which drive you're using. The default colors of the different drives are as follows. The Leo bass is yellow. The vintage microtubes is blue. The microtubes B3K is red. The Alpha Omicron is purple. When the LED is off, there's no drive active. When you press and hold the drive knob, you can then use it to adjust the noise gate threshold. The tone knob has 2 functions. It can be used to adjust the tone of the drive you're using, or by pushing on it, you can then change the octaver filter when the octaver is on. The level knob is used to adjust the volume of the drive you're using. When you push on the knob, you can then use it to adjust the level of the tweeter. The blend knob has 2 functions. It can either be used to blend between your clean tone and the drive tone, or by pushing on the knob, you can blend between your clean tone and your octaver affected tone. If the octaver is active, the first LED of the blend will show the octaver turquoise color even when controlling drive blend. This shows the octaver is active even though the settings are hidden. The preset volume knob is how you set the volume of each preset, which is saved when you save each preset. This is very useful if you want to set a preset to be louder when you solo or perhaps quieter when you slap. When you push on the knob, you toggle between the 7 IR slots and the IR bypass, which are reflected in the LED lights found below the graphic EQ. Next up is the Darkglass 6-band graphic EQ. The EQ setting is specific to each preset, which gives you the ability to save several different EQ settings to either fit different basses you use or different styles of music you play. You will notice that each EQ slider has an LED on it, which can be either blue or red. When the slider is blue, that means the physical position of the slider matches the EQ setting for that slider when the preset was saved. If the slider is red, it means the EQ setting that was saved with the preset is different than the physical position of the slider. If you adjust the slider and the light turns blue, you know it matches the setting that was saved with the preset. The master knob controls the overall volume of the speaker and headphone outputs. When you press and hold on the knob, you activate the Bluetooth pairing so you can link your phone or tablet to the Infinity combo. It is so convenient to have a tuner built into the Infinity combo amps. Best of all, it's so simple to use. When you push on the master knob, the combo is muted and the tuner is activated. The 7 LEDs that are below the graphic EQ are now part of the tuner. If, when you play a string, any of the first 3 LEDs are red, that means the string is flat. If any of the final 3 LEDs are red, that means the string is sharp. When the string is in tune, the center LED glows green. After tuning all the strings on your bass, push the master volume knob again and the combo is unmuted, and those 7 LEDs return to showing which IR, if any, you have selected for the preset you are using. Now let's take a quick look at the back panel. Starting from the left, you'll find the combo's on-off switch and the AC cord socket. Moving right, you find the MIDI in jack. Use a 7-pin MIDI connector only with the optional Darkglass MIDI Footswitch, and use a 5-pin connector with any other MIDI equipment. The USB-C port unlocks the Infinity Combo's audio interface capabilities and also allows connection to the Darkglass Suite. USB MIDI in and out is also supported. Next up is the DI section. Use the post DI out to send your signal to a console, mic preamp, or interface. This output provides the process signal with or without the IR. Use the pre-DI out to send an unprocessed signal out to the console, mic preamp, or interface. In between the 2 DI outputs is the ground lift button, which can be used if you're experiencing ground noise in your DI signal. Use the line out jack to send your signal to the line input of a console or interface. This output provides the process signal without the IRs. You can also link several combos together using this output. Use the line in jack to route line level signals from an amp model or keyboard into the Infinity 500. You can also use this input when linking Darkglass combos together. Darkglass Infinity combos also come with an effects loop. The send and return jacks are how you connect to the outboard gear you want to incorporate into your bass tone. Remember that you can turn the FX loop on and off by pushing on the input knob like I showed you earlier. Use the external speaker jack to connect your Infinity combo to an external speaker cabinet. The Speak-On combo jack allows for Speak-On or 1/4-inch speaker cable operation. The minimum load impedance is 8 ohms. The minimum power rating must be 250 watts. When it comes to dialing in a bass sound, some people like the knobs and faders approach, while others prefer a more visual app-based method. To the benefit of all, Darkglass designed the Infinity combos to suit both types of players. I'm going to create a custom preset using just the top panel controls. To start off, I'm going to bypass the compressor, drive, and the octaver and set the graphic EQ to the center position so that I'm beginning with a very neutral bass tone. Before you start to create a bass preset, I strongly recommend that you have a goal in mind. If you're not imagining a target bass tone, you might find yourself endlessly twirling knobs. After all, if you don't have a destination in mind beforehand, you'll never know when you get there. For this preset, I'm wanting to dial in a warm, clean tone for an old school soul track I'll be recording later. When creating a new preset, I like to first choose the drive that'll be the foundation of my tone. Let's try the Leo bass preamp first by pushing the drive knob once. The yellow LEDs on the drive, tone, and blend controls show that the Leo bass preamp is now active. If there are no LEDs lit up around the drive knob, turn it fully counterclockwise and then turn it clockwise. This will grab the control and the LEDs will now be in sync with the knob movement. I don't want an overly driven tone, so I'll move the drive knob until the sound matches what I'm looking for. I also don't want a lot of highs in my sound, so I'll dial back the tone knob. Next, I'll play with the blend knob until I find a tone that I like. Now that I have the drive sound I like, I want to add just a touch of compression. I push on the comp knob so the LEDs come on, and I want the compressor to be before the drive, so I want to make sure that the first LED is blue. I'm just going to play with the comp knob until I get the tone and feel I want. I know I don't want to have an octaver on this preset, so I'm going to move on to the graphic EQ. Since I want this preset to be warm and pillowy, I'm going to pull down the last 2 sliders just a bit, while also raising the first 2 sliders a little. When it comes to the graphic EQ, remember that a small movement can make a big difference in your tone. Remember also that every time you adjust any of these controls, you might need to go back and tweak a control you had already set. In this case, I'm going to go back and increase the compressor a little and use the drive blend knob to increase the amount of Leo bass preamp that's in my tone. Okay, I'm really liking this tone for the soul track I'll be recording, so I'm going to save it as a preset by pressing and holding the preset select button until the 5 preset LEDs flash. And now that preset is saved so I can recall it later. I'm now going to show you how easy it is to use the Darkglass Suite to create a custom preamp. I think you're going to love it. First, I need to pair the Infinity combo with the Darkglass Suite by pressing and holding the master knob down and then tapping the pair button on the Darkglass Suite. For the sake of this video, I've paired my Infinity Combo to the Darkglass Suite on my desktop using a USB-C cable. For this preset, I want to create a crazy synth bass tone, and I want it to be in the second preset location on the combo. On the Darkglass Suite, you will see presets number 1 through 5 near the top, so just tap the number 2 and it'll recall or fetch the settings that are currently in the second preset slot on your combo. Be sure to save the current number 2 preset if it's something you'd like to load later, as we'll be overwriting it. As before, I want to start with a neutral tone, so on the app, I tap or click the power buttons found below the NSG, Octaver, Drive, and CMP pedals. Everything but the graphic EQ should now be grayed out like this. Once that is done, I want to select the best drive for my dirty synth bass tone. Tap the power button below the drive pedal and then tap on whatever drive pedal is in there. The effect view for the pedal will now come up and you can see the 4 available drive pedals on the bottom of the screen. Tapping on any of the pedals at the bottom of the Darkglass Suite will bring the pedal up to the main screen and you can start playing with the controls on the pedal itself. I really like the Alpha Omicron pedal for this synth bass preset I'm building, so I'm going to select that. Next, I want to add the Octaver pedal to my signal chain, so I tap on the power button below the Octaver graphic and it becomes activated. Again, I tap on the Octaver graphic and the effect view screen is brought up. I can play with the filter and blend controls until I get the sound I like. As it turns out, I like the graphic EQ and the flat setting, so I'll leave it as it is and move on to the comp control. From the DSP change screen, I can tap on the power button below the CMP pedal and then tap on the pedal itself to bring up the effect view page again. I want to squash the signal a bit to get a certain tone, so I turn the knob up quite a bit. Be sure to use the CMP position switch to see if you like the compressor before or after the drive. For this sound, I prefer pre-drive. As it turns out, I like the tone as it is now, so I can save it. On the phone or tablet version of the Darkglass Suite, you would click on the Save button in the toolbar at the bottom of the screen to save the preset to the combo. If you want to store a copy of the preset on your device, just tap on the rightmost icon in the bottom toolbar. This will bring up the Store preset page where you can type in the name you want to assign it and tap on the green Store button to save it. Since I'm working with the Darkglass Suite on my computer, I can click on the Save Changes button to save the preset on the Infinity Combo and click on the Store preset button, which will bring up the same Store preset screen as you saw in the mobile app, and you can name and save the preset. And that is it. You've now created a custom preset by using the Darkglass Suite. You can use the Darkglass MIDI Footswitch to get even more out of your Infinity Combo, especially if you're planning to gig with it. The default settings of the MIDI Footswitch when configured for the Infinity Combo is the following. The 5 footswitches select the 5 presets. Pressing the footswitch of the current preset again mutes the amp and activates the tuner. I recorded a video that covers the Darkglass MIDI Footswitch in detail, which I'll link in the description below. So there you have it. The Darkglass Infinity Combo amplifier is truly a self-contained bass production ecosystem for players of all styles and levels. Best of all, it's extremely easy to use, so you can spend less time in the owner's manual and more time making music. Enjoy.